Go, there we go. Let's rock it.
Hello, hello. How are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing amazing, amazing. How about you?
I am amazing. Thank you once again for choosing to do this with me.
My pleasure.
You have been such an amazing light on this platform. I have watched you for months on top of months on top of months. That brilliant smile, that energy, that fire. I'm like, who is this human? I have to know them. I have to be around them. I have to be in this space with them at some point. And oh my gosh, you throw out so many gems and so many reminders of how to stay encouraged, uplifted, inspired, just ready, just go get them attitude, that go get them energy.
Come
I
on.
mean,
You know,
yes, you
I
already
mean,
know.
we in this thing together, for
Yes,
sure.
we are. Yes, we are. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dawn Kristen Ellison. I go by Dawn of the Aquarius here on TikTok and all other social media platforms. I am a metaphysician and life mastery coach, spiritual mentor, author, and transformational speaker. I'm here to help people awaken to their greatness so they can step into this thing called life authentically, unapologetically, and learn how to live life on purpose with purpose. We are here today. I want my guests to introduce themselves to you because once you leave here, I swear you're going to have the same kind of goosebumps I got going on my body right now. Let's get
Listen,
it.
oh my God! First of all, thank you so much for reaching out and inviting me on your platform. That means everything. People in our space, that matters. Who we bring in. So I appreciate you checking me out, knowing that hey, my energy is good and it will align with yours, and so encourage and support you, and vice versa. So I am Shay Wilson. My tagline is Shay Shift, and so I have a business of inspirational speaking, personal training, coaching. I do it all. I'm in seminary right now, but I most definitely align more with metaphysics. So I clash with seminaries quite often, but it's a love thing, and so we are learning from each other. But I absolutely believe that we are scratching the surface of who we are, and I think through our spirituality, through physical, through our mental health, and all those things, we become our best selves. And now that more light workers and people like yourself, like myself, are coming out and really talking, basically translating things that were once confusing, it helps to get everybody else online and say, hey, this is what, wait a minute, there may be something to this thing that I can be, not that we're doing bad, but I can do up level myself. And now I can understand astrology. I can understand what my body's really doing. I can understand my thoughts relate to how my world is right now. And that really all things are possible, and all things are possible for me. So that's kind of how I come with it, and I, I'm pretty energetic the majority of the time. So, and I, listen, I love life. I'm in this thing like that. I just absolutely believe that part of our spirituality is enjoying life. And if we're not enjoying life, then it's not necessarily that life beating us up. It's that we have a perspective that's not in alignment. And so when we realize who we are and the power that we have, it's game changing. It's a
Hey.
game changer. Yeah, that's me right there.
So right. Oh my gosh. Yes, you're so brilliant to me. It's like, oh my gosh, I see us in you.
Exactly,
I see
exactly.
us. And I mean, every time you come across my timeline, my For You page, I'm like, yes, hey, you just spitting that life, and I know what that is. It's you talking to you as you to everyone else, trying to get them to be on this frequency. Like we got to get here, we got to stay here, we got to keep soaring higher and become the greatest and the best version of ourselves. And I see you. Just know I see you.
Thank you. I mean, literally watching your page, and I've been watching videos, so I started trying to make sure I commented on you, because what I be comment on your information and the things you're doing, because people that do this kind of work, even though we don't ever say it, we need encouragement. We need to know that it matters. And so I make sure that people like you, I make sure that I comment and encourage and support, because you matter. What you're doing matters.
Like
And I
that.
know there's times we don't really feel like it, but we get on anyway because we're inspired to, and we're like, okay, wait a minute, let me do this one. Making sure that other people that are not yet awakened to the level that we are, um, it's something. It's something.
It truly is.
Yeah, get something. And I tell people back in the day before, I mean, people see me now and they like, oh, you do all these things. I said, there was a time that I was depressed and everything else, guys. There's a reason why I started it. And every time I decide I think I'm going to, I'm not really making money where I want to do here. And it's not really about the money, but it's like I spend a lot of time doing this on the platforms. Uh, that okay, God, listen, you want me to do something else different, and I guarantee you, every time I think that, there's multiple people in my inboxes talking to me about, hey, you don't know who I am, but you got me through my divorce. Hey, you don't know who I am, and I had a gun to my head, and I saw your stuff, Shay, and I want to thank you. And that's what, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to get off. So, and that's the kind of thing. So I want to make sure you know the lives that you're changing just by your glow, your beauty, just all the things you're doing, you walking the journey and sharing it with people. I think people just think they by themselves. I think that's what it is. So I'm trying to become more transparent and softer, and that's my work is I can be in my ego and walk and, the swag and all the things as a masculine centered woman would be, and yet my giftedness now is in the softness that I share and it's the fun that I share with it. So to show people, listen, that was just a way to get survive at that time. Now what I'm being guided to do is share everything, my thoughts, my feelings, how I love, when I love, that kind of thing now. So yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know if you're experiencing this, but I know quite a few of us are that have reached a certain level of our authenticity, I want to say.
Authenticity, that's
And
right.
it's like we are finding that softness. We are finding that bit of ease of being transparent and just not it's almost like everything that we went through is gone, and now here we are. It's like, wow, it's almost like we don't recall the feeling of what that was. I kind of when I was in meditation yesterday, I'm going through a meditational not really a challenge, but it's kind of like a series with an instructor, and it really hit me. I said, it's gone. I said, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't weigh on me anymore. It doesn't restrict me anymore. I was like, wow. And to be able to try to think myself back into those spaces, it's not even there. It's almost like it doesn't even exist because you are no longer that version of you. So you can identify with it. So embrace who you are and also more of who you're becoming. But we're not even there anymore.
I mean, that's the beauty. It's so subtle. Even though we know we're intentionally doing the work, it's subtle. You all of a sudden you have distance between what happened or what the other version, and you don't necessarily realize it, and it just kind of comes to you like, you know what? I just heard a song or this, and it didn't touch me like it used to. It didn't. I wasn't even phased by it. Or someone said something to me and would normally trigger me, and it didn't phase me. I just walked very in a manner of a poised state, and it didn't do anything to me. I was just calm, and that's the part I love. The self awareness, I think, is one thing that I kind of encourage my people to get, the self reflection piece, because we can know a lot of things with head knowledge, but they hadn't downloaded to our heart. So we know a lot of things, and we don't even realize that we're the person that we're complaining about. Whether we complain, and I'll put up a post about someone complaining, and it'll be the people that complain all the time they have no idea. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to encourage people to self awareness, so you will know when you've grown. You will know how you have actually exited where you used to be. You up leveled. You don't even know it.
Up leveled, exactly. So for those of you that are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. My wonderful and amazing and brilliant guest, Shay Wilson, is here with me today. She is the inspirational guru. I mean, just when you come across her page, because you're gonna follow her after this. the light and the fire that she ignites on this platform, on all platforms, in real life.
Thank
You
you.
know, I already know what it's like in real life, like crazy. But I want to remind everyone, this is Conscious Conversations. We've never had a conversation before, and the objective is to get you guys to see, when you have elevated energetically to a certain level, how these conversations and exchanges just naturally flow. We speak the same language. We all have a similar story, just a different script. We play
Yes.
different parts. We've been different characters. We've come to a point where we're like, I see you. I
Yes.
see me in you. And we're here to do this work together. It's amazing work. Our journeys were not easy. Okay? But we're also here to inspire, encourage, and uplift everyone, and really, really get you to know you're not alone. Because for many, many years we felt alone. For a long time we felt lost.
That's right.
For a
That's right.
long time we felt like it wasn't gonna work out. But we're here to tell you it does work out.
Come on now.
We're not at by any means are we done with our journey. There's gonna be still ups and downs, hiccups, pitfalls, snags, you know, all kinds of things that are going to still stop us as and derail us from our path. But we have the tools. We've gained our credentials of life to be able to continue and pursue in a strong way through our
Yes.
strength,
Yes.
and just knowing we are going to get it done. And with that being said,
Mm.
what what was it that got you here to be able to, I want to say, be unstoppable with with motivating yourself? Like it seems to me, as an outsider looking in, you know when you're going down energetically.
I do.
How did you learn, or what was your process of learning how to bring yourself up and knowing how to maintain that? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. So I think the first part was that I realized I had no other choice.
Mm-hmm.
Either I'm going to lay and wallow in some things, or I'm gonna get up and be a boss about it. And so, and I say that it's not so much the action, it's the attitude with it. I was an athlete too, and so there was a thing where you just push through pain. Now, I'm not saying I need to push through pain anymore, because once you get, you mature into certain things, you understand that pain is just an indication of something, and that I don't necessarily have to tolerate pain or these type of things anymore. Like I would not, if I hurt something on my body, I would keep pushing. But now you go to the hospital and doctors, what have you. But what I understand now is that when I realized who I really was, when I came into understanding that, wait, my thoughts create a lot of this and how I'm thinking about this, so I need to change it. And so I went through a period where I was like overly positive. You go through that part because that helps you get through it until you understand that there's a balance with that. There's a light and a darkness with it. So I'm at that point where I understand it's okay to feel my feelings. But initially I would just push through because I had no other choice but to push through. I was the one. I was the leader. I was that person. So I would put on this face and just grind it out. Now, there was a point where you grind it out, but you still feel sad and depressed on the inside. You come home and you crashing out, and people don't realize what you're going through. So now there's a balance of it, and now there's a love for life. There's an enthusiasm, and enthusiasm, I love to say enthusiastic or being enthusiastic, because enthuse is in God, and people don't realize that. So we can talk about God all day long, creator, source. I can talk, I'm trilingual, whatever words you want to call it.
Yeah.
Source, divine being, whatever. And I tell people, don't get caught up with it. I got a lot of my Christian friends be like, okay, which one are you? I still, I was raised Christian, but listen, I'm expanded and grown. And so I use all the terms with whoever I'm talking to. Once I realized who I was and that we really can win in this life, we're built to win. We're built tough and everything, even though I don't believe, the Creator has put us through things. I think those things that we decide are used to elevate us if we have the right attitude. If we say, God, what you trying to show me? Because I always ask that. God, what you trying to show me in this? I mean, that was a huge mistake, or it was just a lesson that was a little painful. How do you, how do you move through this? What are you trying to show me? And with that, I know right now that there's nothing, that if something comes in my space, I usually must have been marinating on it, thinking about it, and not being aware of my thoughts for a minute or what have you. But it's most definitely, I know that we are built to win, that I don't care what's happening. I don't regurgitate a lot of things in the world. Like I don't watch a lot of news and TV and stuff like that because I'm very sensitive to how I'm thinking and if I'm in a fearful state. And so, yeah, I hope I answered that question. It's that I keep myself warm because I understand that there's something more for me. That I love life, and this is my homage to God or the Creator or Source. That I'm here for a reason. And when we understand how important we are individually, I don't care what kind of status you think you have in the world, you are absolutely important to the Creator, absolutely important. You are valued, you are loved, you are that person. And sometimes you got to hype yourself up. I was looking at your video yesterday. I was like, yeah, you hype yourself up. Yeah. I was like, yes. That's what I'm
People don't
talking about.
realize that's real life for me. Like, just like you just said, I was kind of forced to. You know, we know what it's like not to have. You have to excuse me, my eyes. I don't know what it is. My eyes are just watery. We. I've been in a position multiple times where I had to learn how to be my own cheerleader because there was no one cheering me on. Now, I will never discount my parents' support. They've always been very supportive, very very supportive, but not so much to the point where it's like it wasn't that push that I really, really needed, but I appreciated and knew they were there. But there was a knowing within myself, I have so much more to give and do. I need somebody just go push me full throttle.
Yes.
And I had to learn that had to be me. Because I'm the only one that can get it. I'm the only one that can see this vision that I've been gifted. So I have to learn how to do that. I have to learn how to talk myself into rather than out of.
No,
See,
no.
most of us know how to talk ourselves out of things.
Yes.
But do we ever talk ourselves into them? Things that we want, things that we want to achieve, things that we want to become, things that we want to do. We don't know how to talk ourselves into it. And it's a matter of putting at the forefront that why, the benefit, what it's going to do for us, how it's going to take us to the next level, how it's going to make us more than what we are right now. You have to want it bad enough. And for me, it's I love cheering myself on, hyping myself up, really just saying, girl, you got this. Even though your mind is probably telling you the opposite.
Right. That's right.
It's still there. That saboteur is still in there doing their thing, creating all these ideas and fairy tales in your head about how it's not going to work, how you're not going to succeed. And you literally have to be like, oh, let me catch that.
Yes.
And let me tell you how it's getting ready to. And you find that thing. You find that thing. For me, it's dancing. For me, it's turning up some music and putting on some kind of inspirational music, some kind of, I don't care if it's Beyonce. I'll sit up there and be like, okay, she's got that thing, or Rihanna's got that thing that's going to make me feel as confident as they sound in the song. So it's like, let me go with that. Let me go with that real quick, because now the same way we use crystals, the same way we use any kind of object to pull that energy, I'm pulling that energy from that frequency from that song, because they put that energy into it for me to extract from until I can go ahead and make it a part of me, and it's boom, there it is. That's who Dawn is.
That's right. I think what you said too is, what is your why? And the biggest thing for me is that I used to say that I'm not afraid of dying. What I am more afraid of than anything else is not exhausting my potential here on this planet. I said, because you got some things in us. We know it. It's like, I see the vision and I need to go. And I think many times we're not motivated because we don't have a vision. And there's a thing that we used to say, and it says, pain pushes until your vision pulls you. Pain pushes until your vision. And it's so true. When we don't have a vision, I also I'm looking up some stuff that I'm going to teach in August, and in regards to intuition and understanding the difference between intuition and your own thoughts. And what I was understanding is that the intuition actually needs a direction so that it can, so because you want, the intuition is not going to give you a long dialogue and all these things. That's our thinking. Intuition is very short and yes, no, I stop that. It's very, and it's very mild. It's very, back in the day you say the still quiet, still small voice. It's just like that for real. And I know you know that. It's this. And so I was looking at that. And so when I was looking at pain pushes to the vision pulls you, I said many times we don't, first of all, we don't listen to our intuition. It's called deep listening because you have to really be mindful and slow down so that you can hear it, and very quiet in spirit and around you so you can hear it and see it. And so the vision part is huge. I think we get to a certain level, 50, 60, 70, up, and then we say, okay, this is who I am, and that's it. And not understanding that there's always a pull on you because you probably haven't exhausted who you are. Well, I can say you haven't because you're still here. And there's a frustration and a lack of fulfillment because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing anymore. You're not going after your best self. You're not being all you can be. You're not going after what you want. And as I read Neville Goddard, some stuff, I'm studying for, I'm going to teach a class, and they said that sinning is actually, missing the mark. We know that part. But sinning is not being who you want to be. Not what the world told you, but who you want. And I said, that is absolutely what I'm saying. Exactly. It's like we have been indoctrinated to follow a certain path, but there's no fulfillment there. You're doing all the right things, but you're leaving, church or institutional organization, a religious organization, and you're coming home and you're crashing and burning because you did all the things, but something's missing. The something is that you're not being your authentic self. And so I am like, as I'm learning everything, I most definitely share when I get a nugget. But the enthusiastic part is the thing. This is not a thing that you're trudging over. I'm doing this because I love life. I love God. I love who I am. I love the Creator. I love her, him, whatever you want to say. I'm learning to love life and to fall in love with me. And to fall in love with me. Out of all that, it's like I'm falling in love with me over and over again because I realize how far I've come, the ups and downs, and I have always chosen to be better and not bitter. Or I've always chosen.
Yes.
Like what you're trying to show.
That's the key. To be better, not bitter. Yeah. Because life creates bitterness in so many people. And it is a choice. We're given the opportunity, we're given the choice. And you touched on that thing where you said sin is you not doing that thing that you truly desire to be. That's what this dimension, this plane, this earth, whatever you want to call it, that's what it's about. Desire. And that desire the word desire has been tainted to a point where it means something that is sinful, is lustful, is
right, exactly.
Things like that. And it's like, no, desire. I desire a cookie. I desire to take a nap. It's what you want. And I don't know if you saw, I had a post up for a long time. Who are you when nobody's around? Right. Who are you when it's just you? Because that's the real you. But it's really who you want to be. People are who they really want to be behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
They're so afraid to be that version of themselves because, like you said, society puts all these things of what you should be.
Yes.
And what you should be is who you want to be.
Right. But that scares people, and therein is the issue. Because when you have the courage to walk in your true self, that makes me look at myself like, wait, well, why they get to do that? Why are they so happy? And unfortunately, we get envious and upset because we follow this road. And they say this is the right way. And I have these things, I've been doing all this, but I'm unhappy. And I say that when I would go to church, and I'm not affiliated with any church right now at all, is I would look and I would sit in the pews because I was most definitely contemplative and I would study all the time. And I look and I said, man, everybody, and especially African American Black people, you can't beat us praising God. You can't beat us doing this. And, And I'm just saying that to not negate anybody else doesn't do it. I'm just speaking from my experiences. And I would watch, and as people go out to church, and they would just be crashing and burning. They still have the issues they would have. There's no transformation. There's nothing. And they've been doing this every time we have altar call. That's the same altar. We've been doing this for years. And I'm looking, and they're bitter, the anger. And so I would always wonder. I was like, God, why? I don't. What are we missing that we're not throughout our whole being fulfilled and joy-filled? As we get older, it look like to me we're getting more angry and bitter.
Yep.
Right. You know what I'm talking about. I'm like, I said, what are we missing that? And so that just set me on a whole road with metaphysics, new thought, Christianity, energy work, all the things, because I'm like, we must be missing something. So I thank God that I was courageous enough to even think outside the box. And I think, just my journey being a lesbian, loving God, loving this, I think that helped me to see. And I wanted to say something else. I think most light workers and workers like yourself and myself, we've been through some things so that we can have a sensitivity to people, so that we can speak from that place and not forget. And so I always know that I wasn't supposed to be a victim of that. Things happen, and so we have alchemized it into power.
Yes.
So that we can use it to speak to the hearts of people that listen to us.
Yes.
And so I always try to make sure people know where I came from, and know this is the reason why I do it. And no, don't look on here and say, "Oh, she got it all again," because that is not true.
No.
What I do have is I have a love for people, and I know how to speak to the heart. So
yeah. We can't speak about enthusiasm any more than we do. We can't express enthusiasm and be that example more than we do, because that is a key component to the process of you being a work in progress.
right, that's right.
You have to have that upward energy, not that, because it's contrast if you don't get excited about what's coming. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people are constantly reminded of what's wrong.
Right.
Like you said, you don't watch the news a lot. I don't even turn on the television. I stay aware
Right.
through certain journalists, because they're going to give me the real, and then they're going to say, turn the TV off. Okay, cool. Let me go about my business. But if you're constantly looking at what's not right, what's not working, what's taking me down, what's going on over here, that's people are hurt, people are, it's going to begin to weigh on you.
Right.
And we live in a society that is constantly being,
and that's
pressing us down.
That's right. And that's a reason. We don't understand the bigger scale of energy, harnessing your energy. We don't understand that yet, but we're getting more and more, we have more and more knowledgeable people talking about it. We don't understand it. And to keep us afraid keeps you in a place of weakness. You can't think straight, you're constricted, you can't. So when you realize the power you have, and here's the thing, is teaching people, the affirmation, being very intentional about your growth, being very intentional about your mindset, your health, going to sleep, eating right. That helps us because we're overstressed. And understanding your hierarchy. We've been told the bill of goods that it should be God, other people, and then yourself. Way down here. Listen, it's you, then your God of your understanding, and then everybody else. Because you can't give from an empty cup. But we've been sold that. So we're walking around sick, tired, overwhelmed, still trying to help people. Our bodies are out of shape and out of whack. We don't, and we trying to, no, because what I've been told, Spirit told me, no, I need you to put yourself, I need you to fall in love with yourself.
In love with you.
So that everyone else will now fall in love with themselves. And so when we take care of ourselves, I have more to give when someone comes into my life. I have more to give from a place of joy, not kind of like, oh Lord, I gotta watch what I'm doing, because I'm giving from my love space. And so I'm a heart person, so I'm always gonna go to that. But I think that when we start taking better care of ourselves, the enthusiasm comes back, the clarity of our mind comes, to move a little farther because we're constantly looking at negativity,
Yeah.
talking negativity. And so I'm like, hey guys, I don't talk like my friends know. They can't get me to really get into stuff like that. It's always going to be a flip side to it. Like, okay, well, what do you think God is telling you about it?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
And that hamster wheel of, like you said, people doing the same thing for years and years and years, and they're getting more miserable
Yes.
because
Yes.
they're not understanding you're not on the path of authenticity.
Right.
You're not in alignment with what God, the divine, the universe.
That's right. Whatever word you want to say, that's right.
You agreed to do.
Right.
You're not doing it. So therefore you're out of alignment with
Absolutely.
your truth.
Absolutely.
Your truth is you were supposed to be doing this.
That's right. And
but
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're still holding on to other people's idea of what your identity should be.
Absolutely.
Your community. I say this time and time again. We don't get to pick our name. We don't get to pick our community.
Right.
We don't get to pick our schools. We don't get to pick our society. It picks us, and we have to grow within it. But the key is to grow out of those ideals and those outlooks and figure out which ones are yours and make decisions accordingly.
That's right. And I think one of the things too is that I called it we have a functional hopelessness. Like, we really don't have faith. We talk faith all day long. You can't beat us talking about faith, but we don't believe that we can change our situations. Deep down, we don't believe it, or we don't believe we have the energy to do it. Like, we just are so tired, not understanding that it's counterintuitive. Once you start walking towards your passion, you are now infused with a certain level of, you get another level of energy because you're now enthusiastic about where you're going. You know this, I'm on the right path, and so that kind of fuels you. But when you're looking at it from a place of being, on E, you're running on fumes, and you're like, I got to do something else, I can't. And so first of all, you just don't believe it can be done. You don't believe it you can change your life.
And you said, they don't believe they have the energy for it. They don't believe, they can do it. They also believe that someone else is supposed to do it.
Absolutely.
So that's where they get stuck thinking, oh, I'm going to get rescued. Oh, I'm going to get saved. Oh, someone's going to come in with a cape and it's not happening. You are your own superhero. You are your own savior. You are your own knight or knight in shining armor. You have to discover how to save you. And if you're too busy, like you said, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're giving and giving to everybody else, but you're not pouring into you first, there is nobody that's going to come and pour into you. Even if they do come to pour into you, you're going to resist it.
That's right.
You're not going to be able to be open to receive it.
That's right.
So where that self-work, that self-awareness, that self-exploration and discovery,
battle work, all of it.
You have to go through that. But not only do you have to go through it, because in the beginning, of course, it is treacherous. It is a lot of different terrains that you got to go through. But then you start to feel that, wait a minute, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. Now I'm riding the wave and no longer fighting the current. And then you start getting excited about the next. So enthusiasm and excitement is something that develops in time because you're like, wait a minute, I'm seeing evidence of something that is real, not fear, false evidence appearing real. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. Little things are happening. And if you put the pieces together, you start to see, wait a minute, there's a picture here.
Right.
And you're at the center of it. Wow. And you just keep expanding from there. You just keep putting more of the pieces together. And you get to realize you already are whole.
Right.
And there was never anything missing. You've always been this way. You just had to get out of your own way and let go of everything that everybody force-fed you. Get rid of every belief, every opinion, every obstacle, every excuse. You have to say, it doesn't belong here anymore.
That's right. I love that. I love it. It's once you realize. I think one of the part was that I realized, like, I'll say, God, if you love me, divine universe, if you love me, then why is all this happening? And it's not. No, it's not happening to you. That's just life. But if I'm supposed to win here, and you really love me, then okay, I believe that. So what do I need to do to get myself out of this situation? Because we do look for saviors, we do look for someone to come in and get help us. We do because we've been taught to beg and beseech a God outside of ourselves, and that's a whole other topic that we will not, Yeah, it's not outside of you. We are the hands and feet working through us as us. Every day I take time, I said, no, you are it. God is in the universe, whatever you want to call it. Holy Spirit is within you, telling you, working through you. But if you resist that and don't believe you're worthy, then you will just keep asking for something outside of ourselves, whether it's God or the government. We keep asking, and that really the power is within us. And when we wake up to all of that, it's a game changer. But the having fun with life, and not just always having to drink yourself into ability to have fun, and not just having to do things else to have fun. But that may be part of you. Hey, that's fine. But to really enjoy life. I have a thing I saw now. I've been living by it ever since. I want to create a life, and I keep creating my life, a life that I cannot wait to wake up to. Ooh, that I cannot wait to wake up. Like I love my life partner. I love it. I cannot wait. I've already manifested, and it's just amazing. I cannot wait to wake up. Like this is awesome. What do I have to do today? Like this is.
What do I get to do today?
What do I get to do? Exactly. Like, like, what do I get to do today? And just, I know you're guiding me.
Yes.
Not by myself. Like, even though I could be, years, I was single for years. And I was like, 6 years to be exact. I never felt by myself. Like, I knew that I was being guided. I knew that there was a certain way I had to carry myself. I knew that I needed to touch places that were only going to be going to happen when I broke through the egoic mind, the defense, and really got really honest with me. And it wasn't like I was a bad person. You just had these ideas of what love's supposed to be. And it forces you to look at it. And so, yeah, I think that creating a life that you can't wait to wake up to is such a beautiful statement. Like, it really gets me hyped like that. I want it all. I want it all. I'm going to just tell you right now.
Everything that's mine. Everything that's mine.
Everything that's mine. That's right.
That's a whole lot of things that I don't even know that's mine. So it's crazy.
And it's more than enough for all of us. What we've been sold. The other bill of goods that we've been sold that it's not enough for everybody. That's not true. That's not true. And that's why we hoard, we greedy, we get upset because we don't think it's enough.
And we consume so much. We consume a lot of food that isn't great for us. We consume a lot of information that's not good for us. We consume things that we think are going to make us feel better about ourselves, and they're not. They don't. They won't. They can't. And that's where, especially here in this place, people are so focused on everything outside of them. They're distracted from what's going on inside of them. So they're totally ignoring the relationship that they have going on with them. Right. They're too busy worried about, I got to be in a relationship. I got to be around friends. Right. When you learn how to be with self, like you said, you're not alone. You discover you're not alone. Like I said, we felt alone for a long time in who we are and what we're supposed to be. But that was part of the process. That's the beautiful part. It's like, oh my gosh, you're supposed to feel what it's like to be alone until you learn how to not be lonely.
Oh my God. I think the isolation, there's always the awakening part is always the isolation piece. And that is absolutely necessary because it has to pull you out of everything else, being distracted by maybe your person or what have you, so that you can see you. Other than that, we are absolutely reacting to other people the majority of the time. So it is absolutely necessary because you won't see you until you back up out of everything. And that's so it's very intentional. And I'm like, I actually love being by myself a lot. I've learned how to, I love it. But I've always I know I'm better with a partner. I'm huge on love. I think you may have heard me say it on on my page many times. Listen, we are at our best when we are loving, being loved, and in love. We're absolutely at our best.
Yes, we are. You're so right, because I believe we're all supposed to experience partnership at some point,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because it's just a part of the human experience itself. And it's a thing where, for me, I've been single now 10 years, and it's been a process of me understanding and appreciating connection
Yes.
over attraction.
Yes.
Because attraction, you can align, and especially as light workers, we gonna attract a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're good. We can't help it. But is there a connection there on a level that you see this is part of the mission?
Absolutely.
This is part of what is necessary and needed in order for me to keep doing this work. This is what is divinely ordered. Not just, oh, I like him, I like her, and
Right.
we gonna
Right.
I'm gonna have this baby. And that is
It's the
crazy.
mission and the purpose. That's it. You said it, and that's the thing we have to be very careful, because we're light workers. We are. We're charming. We're very positive. Most people want to be around us. We're fun to be around, but they don't understand there's another part of us
Yeah.
that we really do study. Like I said, people like the idea of me until they see how much study, that I do, how much time I'm in. They don't realize there's a serious part of me that I really do study before I get in front of people and speak to. I mean, we're dealing with human lives. I can't just say anything to you. I need to make sure that what I'm saying is in alignment with what you need to hear, or what, just love. Just I'm encouraging you from a different place. And
Yeah.
so I'm funny about, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you really realize how much I'm either working at work, this, that, I'm in school, or I'm studying myself. And so, but then I do have fun a little bit. I'm trying to work on that part right now.
I can totally relate to that, because it's like I have my work,
Mm-hmm.
which is coaching and like you said, studying and growing and just gaining all of this knowledge, and apply it so it becomes wisdom.
That's right.
Then it's like, okay, what do I do as a profession, that how I serve? It's making women feel beautiful, hair, makeup, all that. So it's like, okay, that's another way I touch them. Then it's like, what's the job for me? Well, I fly part time. I'm a flight attendant, so I love to travel. I love that also, because, and this is where I want people to understand, when you find those things that you love, it helps keep that fire ignited in life, so you can love the life that you're living. I always
Yes.
say life is meant to be lived and loved. If you're living a life that you don't love, it's not going to work. My thing is, you find that thing that you love to do, that, or those things.
Those
So
things.
when it comes to me, it's like, okay, I love to travel. I also have friends everywhere, all over the world. So it's a matter of, I want to nourish my relationships. I want to keep my friendships alive. So even if it's just meeting for dinner or lunch or hanging out for a weekend, we still have connection.
I love
We
it.
still have friendship, and those are things that are important to me. So when we talk about being enthusiastic, staying inspired, staying uplifted, you have to actually create those ingredients for your life. You actually have to keep pouring those things into your life and do those things. Nobody told you to go stay at a job for 20 years that you can't stand,
Right.
because you feel like it's giving you security. But security versus misery,
Right.
it's not that, those aren't good ingredients for the equation of you. They're just not.
It's
So
so out of you.
yeah, we're not meant to suffer for a long time.
That's the thing.
We create suffering, and then we're supposed to get rid of it.
Exactly.
We're supposed to get rid of it. We're not supposed to stay in suffrage. We're supposed to figure out how to get out of it.
Right.
And a lot of people are learning. I won't say they're not doing it. They're learning how to do it at their own pace. And that fire, that excitement, that looking forward is so critical. Like you said, you're excited about the next day,
Yeah.
waking up and getting ready to do life. We get an opportunity, and people don't realize by design, we are supposed to have something to look forward to. But instead, so many of us keep looking back at things we can't change. We can't do anything about it. Only thing we should be doing when we're looking back is having gratitude and extracting the lessons. And once again, so those lessons can now become wisdom.
That's right.
And you keep moving forward.
That's right. And it wouldn't be if we followed our intuition or the Holy Spirit, whatever, we would never have a boring day. But we kind of push that all down and do our regular routine. So we're like this. So it's very difficult for us to hear anything because we're so set in our ways of how we do it. And I keep telling friends, I say, if we really had a lot of faith, we actually don't do everything the same way every day. Because it'll tell you to do something different because it aligns with what your heart and your energy is saying, not what you're supposed to be doing. Your intuition comes from the heart. So it's going to show you what you really want to do, and it's going to speak to you if you allow it. And it's the same thing as the Holy Spirit. So people don't really realize this. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I never thought of it that way. Your intuition. Here's a confession. Okay, I talk about having a morning routine all the time. Okay, I feel like it sets the trajectory for the rest of your day. It's a moment for you to be in control and for you to really hone in and be intentional about how you want your energy, your thoughts, and everything you want to create for that day. Right?
True. It's true.
For me, it's always been a challenge, and I will say this: I can preach about it because I know the importance of it, and that's why I keep pushing myself to do it. But every day, something intuitively says, go drink some tea before you meditate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be go meditate, then go get some tea.
That's
go for a walk today.
Today,
go sit outside and read before you meditate. Or it'll just be the most randomest thing. It'll be so out of, but it's also in this moment I'm receiving this. It's a way for you not to become programmed.
Exactly.
The way that people are usually programmed to wake up at 6 o'clock, to be to work at 8, to have lunch at 12, to leave at 4, to pick up the kids at 6, to do all that. It's a way to not be a robot again.
The heart space, which is what the intuition is talking from, is actually speaking to what you want to do. Here. But what we do is because we discipline works. Now we need discipline. Yeah. But there's times that your heart and your energy knows, because it's looking at a more expansive view, then you know. So we want to just do what we're supposed to do. But when you follow that, I really did need that tea this time before I did that. That you understand that you're a walking meditation too. I need to do that. I mean, because we do it enough, it don't mean we have to just sit down sometimes, because we literally have it within us already. We practice it so much that we already have it. I like to say to be clear. But the reality is that I still have it. It doesn't go anywhere if I don't do it that way. If I have to do something different, if I'm led to do something different, I still am a walking meditation. Yeah. How I live my life. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I tell myself that all the time. You don't have. I enjoy the feeling, the being, the presence while I'm meditating.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like sometimes you're meditating when you're driving.
Yes.
Even though you're focused on the road, you're paying attention. But sometimes I feel like I'm in that state, that just calm, that peace, and it's just like. Okay, now I'm home. But it's also, I think, a solution to road rage. But it'll help you just not spaz out on people, But it is like walking meditation. Or, just when you become a walking example, when your life becomes an answered prayer, when everything just becomes softer, like you said, we're in that soft
state.
Something. It's like there's ease, there is simplicity, there's fulfillment, there's calm, it's just like, okay. And if something that we don't prefer presents itself, we're okay. All right. Okay, let's tackle this. Let's get it, because we're human. We're expected to feel those feelings at some point.
That's right.
And it's okay. And that's another thing. You inspire, you uplift, you give so much energetically when you are not as high. You're honest about that too. I'm honest about it. Well, you're honest. And I feel like it's important for people to know you're not always going to be at your best, but you can still be your best when you're not at your best.
Absolutely. You still in alignment. You still in alignment when you're not at your best. And I think the other thing, we when we do that sometimes, I used to beat myself up about it. And now, because I have fallen in love with myself in a healthy manner, there's loving people and there's loving people healthy. There's loving yourself and there's loving yourself in a healthy manner. When you really start loving yourself in a healthy manner, you don't shame, blame, and guilt yourself. You just acknowledge that there was a mistake. Okay, I'll do that next time. And you leave it just like that, because God, universe, divine, creation does not guilt, shame, and blame us. Does not. Well, no matter what everybody told us over the years, that is not true. It's just absolute love.
Yeah.
Okay, dear heart, let me show you this. It's okay. Literally. And let me show you this. What happens when we're standing there beating ourselves up? We miss things. We miss things because we're over here upset and not understanding you love no matter what. You love no matter what. And you were saying something about softness, about us being soft. And as I understand now, as I walk in both, because I love the masculine part of me and the feminine part of me, and how I can work with my clients, my guy friends, and love, and my guys that come to me. I love the fact that I can relate to them in a certain manner, but I'm also a woman. So I can evoke things that, and then there's no type of attraction. Sometimes taking that attraction off the table helps tremendously. Right, exactly. That's right. Right. So we get to talk for real. Yeah. And I can say a lot, and then the same with women. I'm all women and I love women, but then there's a kind of that my masculine side also helps to help move. And I said, man, I used to didn't like this, but now I love it's like a superpower. I can just put whichever one I need to use for whoever I'm talking to. I love that. And that's because Spirit showed me, wait, I need you to both, because so you can help more.
Yeah.
When you that way. But our softness also evokes softness from people. I absolutely diffuse people because they, we puff up and we get ready for an argument or something, and I'll just say something to them, and it absolutely just melts because we're looking for encouragement and kindness. We actually desire it and crave it. We just don't know that. So when someone's kind, you go through that person's so kind to me. I walked in the door and they were right, because we don't realize, and as adults we don't get a lot of encouragement.
Right.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't get a lot of encouragement, verbal encouragement, support like that we just don't. We do it for our children, but we won't do it for ourselves, and we don't do it to other friends and really talk. I'm a huge cheerleader, much like you, for my friend, people around me, people on social media, literally, I love to see us doing our thing, because when one of us do our thing, it's a residual effect. It's a
chain reaction.
Yeah, it is absolutely, yes, absolutely. Chain reaction is a better way to say it. A chain reaction for real.
Yeah. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what you're consuming once again on social media, the music you listen to, what you watch on television, the conversations that you have. And that's one of the reasons why I created Conscious Conversations, for this kind of exchange. It's like these are conversations that are meant to fuel you, not to extract. We hear people on these panels all the time, and they're talking about relationships and this, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. But what are we doing? How are we making ourselves better? We walk the walk. We not only talk it, we not only teach it, but we walk it. And it's like you constantly hearing people say, oh, you have to heal. Oh, you have to, learn who you are. Okay, we've done that. And we're showing you what happens on the other side of it when you really do that work and you eliminate all other parties out of the equation. We're not doing this for a relationship. We're not doing this for fame. We're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for status. We're doing this for ourselves to become the best and better and greatest version of ourselves. That's it. It's so selfish.
I tell people, you know, when you walk in your purpose and your passion, it makes other people think it's easy. But they don't understand how I got there. And and I'm going to piggyback on what you said. We need this conversation because we need to remind people that there are an enormous amount, a plethora of good people, great people doing good things, great things out here. Everybody's not negative. Everybody's not out here trying to get over on you. Everybody's not. There's great people that will cheer for you, love you, and don't want anything from you.
Right.
I just know you got greatness in you. I'm just speaking to you because you need to know that. Maybe nobody told you that you're loved. Maybe nobody told you that you're valued. Maybe nobody told you that you appreciated today. Maybe nobody told you that you were cherished today. I'm going to tell you, mamas, you are all of that. I'm telling you. And I don't want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you. I don't need nothing from you. I'm just saying that I need to remind you of who you are. And sometimes we can do all these things and nobody go through weeks and weeks and weeks and nobody say, I love you, or nobody say, I think you're an amazing person. No one says this. They may think it, but they don't say it, and we need to hear it many times. And not think that, oh, they're trying to get me. No.
We need to hear it, and that's the thing, becoming your own motivator, you got to hear it from you first.
Absolutely.
Then you will hear it from other people because then you won't need to. When you don't need something, it always comes to you.
Come on now. That's
you always have more than enough. To me, who has more shall be given. When you don't need something, you automatically have it in abundance. It's just gonna keep coming and coming and coming. So if you are full of love,
yes.
If you are full of inspiration, if you are full of self, yes. If you are full and not on E, you are not starving, you are not hungry, you are not seeking, you are not thirsty, you are not looking for anything because you're already, once again, whole.
That's right.
You're complete. And you have to teach yourself that. Because unfortunately, it was not taught to us from the very beginning.
That's right.
The way that I personally believe it's intended to be taught from the start. That's right. But now that so many of us are awakening, now that so many of us have this knowledge, we're able to now awaken our children, yes. Our grandchildren, yes. Our nieces, nephews, those that are coming up much younger who needed to, who when we needed to hear it,
right.
We needed us to step in. And that right there is also the journey.
That's right.
It's also the journey of what did I need from someone when I was a kid. Just to be heard.
Yes.
Just to know somebody cared, just to know somebody had my back, just to know if I needed something, they were just a phone call away. Just that one little thing can change the trajectory on someone's life and change the course and saying, I have it.
Yes.
And so therefore I don't need it. It's already within me. I already am built for it. I can sustain it. I can see it through. I can do all those things. That's why our work is so incredible, yes. Incredibly important, necessary, and needed.
I love it. You know, when we wake up to all of that, the love that we're sharing now, and my affirmation, I have an affirmation that I share, and I tell people, so you want to say, I have fallen so much in love with myself. Everything else in my life aligns. When I fall madly in love with me, everything else lines up because you start taking care of yourself. You start releasing things that keep you in overwhelmment. You start releasing things that are frustrating, that take your energy. And now you can love from a place of just purity. Just pure love. You don't want anything. This is just who you are. But there's a lot of times we have to clear things out. A lot of doctrine, dogma, a lot of stuff, we have to move it out of the way. Just like we would have to clear stuff out of the closet. We got to get that stuff out of the way because if I'm overworked, it's very hard for me to love you.
Yeah.
So when I ask Spirit or Universe, show me a way that I'm working and I'm making more than enough money so that I can love myself and love my family like they're supposed to be, so I can be present. Ask that question. And so you get the answer. Because we do a lot of work and we're doing it for the right reasons, yes. But there's a way that is taken away from who you really are many times. So we beat ourselves down physically and we don't have anything to give. And I'm saying, when I say cup overflowing, I mean cup overflowing in every single area.
Every area.
Yeah, I mean, I want us to be sexy. I want us to have the energy. I want us to have a positive attitude. I want us to be making money. I want us to be knowledgeable.
Healthy.
I want us to be in alignment with God. I want us, yeah, I'm like, we can have it all. And still be good people and be good people, kind.
Yeah, and that's what I teach as a life mastery coach. It's all areas of life, creating balance, having that strong balance with all of them. We go through the process of all the areas. How do you feel about this area? Your health, your mental health, your physical health, your finances, your legacy, your career, your relationships, all of that, every bit of life. And you gotta let me know. There's a process. Which ones are your weakest?
That's right.
That's where we start first.
That's right.
We start from the bottom, work our way up. Because if you don't feel good about your identity, if you don't know who you are, and that's what's keeping you up at night, that's where our work begins. Let's discover who you are. Simple questions. Just ask yourself, starting with, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want? Because there's so many people walking this planet that have no idea as to what it is they want.
It's true. It's true. We became other things for other people. Another thing, too, I think what helps, too, Donna, what you're saying, I'm absolutely in agreement with that, is that when we realize how much we are loved, and we actually have a relationship with the Creator. When you actually, not with the church, not with the past, not with the grandmama and them and all. Listen, I mean, your own relationship means you sit down and you spend time, you meditate. I ain't say you talking all the time, because there's a difference between prayer and meditation. I tell people this all the time. I said, listen, prayer, you're talking from your own consciousness, just what you know. But if you sit and listen, now you're getting knowledge from the expansive universe now. There's now spirits talking to you. So you want to sit so you can understand your relationship. So now you're building up your confidence with God. Now you building up. Now you're able to ask questions and not be shamed or blamed or feel guilty because you don't know. So that's why we don't even address those issues that we're not good at, because we don't want to feel the hurt and pain of the shame of we're not good in that area, especially if it's money. Then you won't touch that because you feel ashamed of why you're not where you should be in that area, or this, or you made some mistakes, or in love relationships. We want love, but we don't want to address the things that cause the issues in the relationships.
Yeah.
We want to touch it because we're ashamed, or we want to come get up responsibility on someone else. And I said, but when you get that relationship, the confidence builds up that you are willing to address and face anything. Spirit can tell me, say, you're not. I'm like, well, this is the conversation, literally. Am I not looking at that properly, God? Do I need to, I know I kind of lost my temper, was that on me? It doesn't matter if it's on whoever, we always in response, it's did you love in that situation? Were you standing firm and courageous in who you are? Did you listen to hear, or were you listen to respond? Or you listen to understand, rather? And then let's move through that, because Spirit will guide us step by step. And it's sending out people like yourself to guide people through where they've never been before. See, the other thing is that we are going places we've never been before, and we're trying to use old stuff. Well, that stuff don't work, so you're gonna have to travel light. So you have to start getting rid of all the old perceptions, all the old definitions of yourself. All that has to go. It don't work with you over here. You know what I'm saying?
You are so on it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. When it comes to let's touch on your personal trainer and your health career.
Yes.
What is it that what are your key outlooks and ideas that you share with your clients? Like what do you like for them to know about how you personally coach and train? Like, what is it that they receive from you?
That your physical health is absolutely an act of self-love. That your spiritual health is absolutely your physical health is an act of loving God, your understanding. That your physical health is your wealth. You can do all that other stuff and have money out the wazoo, but if your physical health is horrid, then it doesn't matter how much money you have. If your physical health actually is from everything else. It actually makes you feel more confident. So I use that all the time. It's different with you ever take what a person comes to me how they want. This is how I engage with them. But ultimately, I think that when we are at our best, if you are a spiritual warrior, anybody out there listening, you're a spiritual warrior. You call yourself a spiritual warrior, you need to be in shape. I don't know no warriors that's not in shape. I know we have fallen in love with food, but listen, I would need us to understand that it's not just prayer. We need you to get your body right so you can understand so you can be confident. So that if something happens, you can at least run. You can at least walk. You can at least get up the stairs or get down the stairs. I'm always teaching this. I'm like, listen, I need you to be able to get up off the floor. Because I have elders, I need to be able to get off the floor. So we do a lot of burpees. They hate it. They don't do the real ones. They just got to get able to get up. I said, listen, I need you to get off the floor. Shay, I'm 80. I don't care. 8 to 80. If something happens, you live by yourself. If something happens, I need you mamas to be able to get up off that floor.
I love it.
So my angle is that I love being physically fit in every area. So it's not about being a bodybuilder for me. It's about I want you to look good. I want you to be toned, strong. If you have to be able to hang off a building, I need you to be able to hang long enough for somebody to come and help you. I need you to be able to run. I need you to get rid of the joint pain. I want you to be flexible. I really think like a warrior. What would a warrior need? Because once you feel good in your body, you can't beat us when we think we sexy.
Right.
And we know we sexy. Hey, listen, you can't tell us nothing.
You can't say anything.
You know what I'm talking about. Then we go. Listen, I tell them, we know we look good.
Yeah.
Especially for women. Hands down. Nobody can kick. We can't tell us nothing.
Especially as we age, because that's the thing. We're still looking at these young girls saying, I used to have, things used to sit different, And I know for me, before I turned 40, it was just I wanted my body to be a certain way compared to what it had been, and I got my weight where I wanted it. Mentally I was there. I was focused. I was intentional. I was on it. Kept that weight off for a long time. I recently regained the weight after my father transitioned, and I say it was grief weight. It was eating, and I said, okay, now that our pants don't fit, let's get back to the program. But now I'm doing it in an elevated way. So it's like, yeah, I know how to work out. Yeah, I know how to do all those things. Now I'm on the whole body detoxing.
Absolutely.
Making sure I'm putting whole foods and organic and just clean juicing. And I've really taken it to that next notch because, okay, you already know you could do it. Right. Let's make it even more fun than it was before, because you're becoming another version of yourself, another person who has that wisdom. But let's gain some more through some lessons. Let's do some more trial and errors. Let's do some more exploring and see what works for us and what doesn't work for us. It's really fun, and you're right on it, because we do have to physically be in shape, not just mentally, not just spiritually, not just emotionally, but our bodies. When they say your body is your temple, you only get one.
Come on.
You only get one. You don't get we in this Western world, we act like we could just go ahead and go purchase another one. I mean, you can purchase parts, but you can't purchase the whole thing. But it's like, why don't we take care of ourselves and eat better and consume better than what a drive-through can provide, or really processed foods and things like that? It goes back to how we feel about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, our surroundings, our environment, what's available to us. Because if you notice, in certain neighborhoods, there's fast food restaurants everywhere. You go to other neighborhoods, there's not one in sight.
For reasons. There's reasons behind that.
Right.
And here's the thing, I think too, when I look at, and I've been doing it for 20 years now, 20 plus years, it has become an addiction. We eat our feelings.
Yeah.
Everything is about food, everything about drinking. You look at mukbang videos, and I just find that fascinating. Even though I'm vegan, so I find it fascinating to watch all the stuff that they eat. Um, and I think that we don't realize that you can see when you're out of alignment with your emotions because you eat it. And it's nothing, no shame on that because there's other things people do you can't see with the
Right.
food body. And I'm saying even with our spirituality, I'm always gonna go like that because that just seems to because we're spiritual beings. When we start teaching more, and there's other religions that really are more disciplined in Christianity with eating and that type of thing that we realize that we are making our people sick. We're talking spirituality and spiritual health, but your physical health is out of alignment, so there can't be your spiritual be in alignment. It doesn't work like that. So I'm in seminary talking to a lot of people that are letting themselves go because of school or all their engagements that they have, and I'm saying, but you must live it first. I mean, you don't get a lot of time to spend with God, or you're here because you're doing things. My way is that I do this and take care of my body before I do that because I won't be eating good. And I said, I'm not saying I don't go up and down different things, just not as bad as other people. And I said, and it's always because of emotions, which means I'm not processing somewhere. There's a filter system that's clogged up somewhere that I need to look at because I am trying to make myself feel better with the food.
Yeah.
And so, and that's a hard call sometimes. And sometimes I want everybody to have someone just so they can have a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get sentiment because I was coming back from a trip not too long ago and I was watching these women on the flight, different women, single with their kids, and I was sitting there thinking like, I just wish they would have someone there, husband, wife, I don't care, that could help them to manage. Good thing the babies were pretty good. They weren't doing nothing of what babies do. They weren't crying or anything. I I thought that, and I think that too sometimes, but not just anybody, someone that can speak life, that's supportive. And I believe that this can happen for all of us. I really do. It's like that person that I need that can speak life into me, that can help me when I'm sad, that knows how to just let me be when I'm sad, or know how to wipe my tears when I'm sad, knows how to rub my shoulders, those type of things, the softness back in the relationships, and still be gangster with me when I'm talking about ride or die. Yeah, we can do all of that, but I need somebody that's mature enough for that, and I want it for all of us, like my brothers too. I'm like, hey, listen, we need to make sure we're going back to that so that we can process feelings and emotions properly.
Yeah.
If we don't have a space to do that, then we will eat, we will drink, we will do all this stuff, we will go out and have sex, all this stuff that we're doing that we know that that's not really where we want to go.
Yeah.
So we put ourselves in compromising situations. That's really my dream. Somebody said, "You really believe that?" I said, "Yep." They asked me in seminary, "Do you believe that people are good, that this world can change?" Yes.
Yeah.
You really believe that? I said,
We're actually watching it happen though.
Yes. That's what as I told him. I said, it can happen, but if you don't believe it, you won't believe it. Won't happen for you. So somebody has to hold the reins and say, "There's good people out here. The world is more good than bad, guys. They're just showing us the negative, so we keep you in fear."
Yeah.
But a real person that believes in God should not be walking around in fear all the damn time. I'm so sorry. I'll be like, "Why are you so scared? Yo, the scariest people."
Awareness and fear are two different things.
Exactly.
Danger is a real thing, but if you're aware of danger, you have nothing to fear. And you're absolutely right. The mass media wants to keep us in fear. It wants to keep us, on a lower vibrational frequency. But for those of us that get it, like I went out here today, this morning, got up, ran so many errands, did some shopping I wasn't supposed to be doing, but I did it anyway. And it was every experience, every encounter that I had was lovely.
Yes.
It's like I go places and like the people are pleasant. Even if you do run into someone and it's like they do something, you check them, you're like, well, you could have turned in front of me, you could have gone, but it's okay. I'm gonna turn my music back up.
Right.
It's about pivoting dusting it off, letting it go. That's their business. That's their attitude. That's their energy. They want to be on that frequency. That's fine. I'm not going to choose to do that because that's not going to serve me. And it's not going to keep me on this path of progression and elevation that I intended to be on. And it's more fun this way.
Absolutely the truth. Oh my God. Yes, yes, and yes.
It's been an incredible journey. It's been wonderful to be able to connect with people such as yourself. And then, like I said, this is our first conversation, and it's just like I feel like we've known each other 30, 40 years.
Right? Ain't that the truth?
It's amazing that we get to do this work, and we now get to do it together. We've always done it together, but now we get to knowingly do it together to help others
Yeah.
that are in those spaces that we used to be, and let them know you're not alone. We got you. You're
Put it
here.
out. And
Yeah,
this thing.
exactly. It's so hard but easy at the same time when you know you are supported, and it's beautiful. You know, that's where we get that inspiration. That's where we get that enthusiasm. That's where we get that fire because we know it's a beautiful process. Once you get through, like you said, once as your pain will push you,
Yeah. Until
it's going to push you until your passion and your purpose pulls you.
Absolutely.
And somewhere in between there's a moment of surrender.
Right.
That surrender might not be just 2 seconds. It might be 2 years. It might be 10 years. But that surrender that takes place, that's where the work is.
Absolutely.
When you finally said there's something that I don't need to do while I'm doing what I need to do. So I don't need to worry. I don't need to be fearful. I don't need to doubt. I don't need to be compiling all these different ideas of what shoulda, coulda, and would have happened. No, what I need to do is have that faith that we talk about.
That's right.
What I do need to do is be intentional about what I do, what I say, who I'm around, what I consume. What I do need to do is my work on it and stay on mission. What I do need to do is just believe it's going to work itself out.
Yeah.
So in that space, that is when your passion, that is when your purpose starts to pull you, and that pain starts to disintegrate. It starts to disappear. It starts to no longer be a part of your story.
And that's how you start us off. Is that you realize that you have outgrown the pain now. It no longer affects you. You literally have transcended it. You have literally alchemized whatever you've been through and turned it into goodness and the goal. And that's the thing. I mean, yeah, I could talk about this all night.
All day.
I mean, it's like we just got to get hyped about it because this is the real deal. Once we realize who we really are, once we realize as spiritual beings, it is we are limitless. But our mind, what we think on, what we marinate on matters. Our bodies matter. Keeping the foods that we eat can clog up things. So enough drinking water. I mean, so the physical part to me is absolutely necessary. And so I do a thing called Spiritually Fit, and that's what one of my platforms is that I talk about what it looks like to be spiritually fit. Not just talking about going to church or talking to church. You don't have to go to church for me. But it's how we move in the world, how we take care of our bodies, how we love, what we talk about, are we studying, are we having a personal growth plan? We have the plans on everything else. You have a personal growth plan, so when you get in your 50s and 60s, you still know what you want to do when you retire. Because if you don't, it just goes downhill. Yeah. You can only play and try around for the next couple of years, and after that, you need to have something you want to do because it gets old. And people die from that because they don't have a purpose anymore. And so I'm always preaching stuff like that. I'm also actually talking about a detox. I have a detox program going on right now over on Facebook, a raw vegetable detox about 5 days. I only want to do 5 days because I didn't want to sabotage people into the Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
But it is bigger than, I tell you, it's bigger than the food, guys, what I'm talking about. So I get their ear for the time, and it's just encouraging them to release things, release ways of saying, oh, I don't like that kind of food. Have you tried it? Have you tried it? And if you did, try again because your mindset is different. Because this is how spirit works with us. You're not just in this space for a week, just by chance. It's no, there's not. I don't care if your girlfriend invited you. That's why you came. There's a reason why you're here. And so the detox of everything that you know doesn't serve us is always a thing of practice. We want to do at least a couple times a year to get our bodies back in alignment. So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Shay, it has been an absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure to have you here. I do pray you come back and share this space again with me, and we're gonna be working together at some point. So it's already done.
I appreciate you. I've seen your growth over the last years. I'm very intentional when I watch people and I support them. I've seen you and I've seen you blossom. I've seen some of your down moments because I can read it well. And I've seen you come through like a phoenix. Now you're up leveling and you're doing your podcast and and these things that I'm saying. You are on it and you are just scratching the surface. You're just scratching the surface. I'm like, I knew her. I was interviewed by her. Well, you know what I'm saying? Don't forget.
You be like, that's my friend. That's my friend.
That's my friend. I'm like, that's my friend. She's doing it. She's doing it. She's doing it.
We are doing it. We are doing it.
I see you.
I see you.
Always know that. You got a cheerleader that you may not even know. I'm in Texas. Like, keep going.
Likewise, over here, like I said, I'm like, yes, I'm not. You gotta be on here. We have to do this. It has to be. It's already done. So.
It's already done. It is.
Yes, it's already done. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Everybody that's here, please follow Shay. Amazing. She's got gems. She's on Instagram as well. And we're going to make this thing happen. So, yes.
Thank you so
much. Love
much.
and light to each of you. Have a wonderful evening. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.